Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Sell More Book Show, episode 628. Oh my gosh, I am so glad to be chatting with you guys today. As some of you know, we now do the show live every Tuesday, and I'm just loving it. Tuesday at around 1 o'clock Eastern, we start the pre-show, and then we get into it. There are several dozen people watching here today, which I am so grateful for all of you being here. Do not hesitate, those of you who are live, to comment, ask questions, do all of the things, and I am happy to interact with you here live as we party. So, we got a lot of fun stuff going on today. As a reminder, the Sell More Book Show is brought to you by the Author Ad Agency. Oh my gosh, you guys. One of my account managers just today was posting about how she has helped one of her accounts that she works on go from $20,000 a month in royalties, already pretty good, right? To $50,000 in royalties. And she really went above and beyond. I love all my account managers, but she really went above and beyond. She was helping with his covers. She was helping with things that go beyond just the ads, because everything contributes to your ads. Your book description, your cover, what categories and keywords the book is in even. And all of that contributes, and I love that our author ad agency is able to help people to really take things to a whole new level. If you are interested, please feel free to reach out, Brian at sellingforauthors.com, or just click the link that is in the show notes. So, who do we have here live today? We have Teresa, we have Liana, we have Kathleen and Victoria and Brianna, and there's folks on the Instagram too. I see Audrey. Good to see you, Audrey. Audrey, I think I co-hosted the show before. I see April and Carolyn and Amy and Rebecca and all sorts of wonderful people here. I'm just going to see what's happening here. Awesome. Love it. It's all doing what it is supposed to do. I like it when things are doing what they're supposed to do. It always helps. So, let's get into the show proper. A couple weeks ago, we asked a question of the week. What would it look like for you to create a positive mob mentality, where you and or your friends lift other authors up rather than hunting them down? Dharma Kelleher said, I think it would more likely resemble the UU congregation I'm a part of. We are people of a wide range of experiences and beliefs who come together to help those in need, offer encouragement and support, to be there for those who struggle, to celebrate people and their successes, just helping to build a kinder world. I like the idea of a kinder world there, Dharma. Lanessa said, this is what I've been striving to create with Tropicon, and so far that's what each show has been. I'm glad to hear that. That's awesome. Bethany Tucker said, my friends and I have been lifting other authors up in our own circle, and by extension, those connected to us, by a meeting once a month and writing together, then reading our stories out loud. Even though there is practically no criticism and lots of praise, writing has improved because there is at least one new book that is coming about because of these circles. That is awesome, because what is louder? The people creating the mob, the people battling each other. That is what is the loudest thing. But I know you guys are out there fostering community, doing what you have to do in order to lift people up. And the more that you are doing that, the more the community is going to benefit from it. And I'm proud of all you guys who are working on this, who are building that community together. It's very, very impressive. And I encourage you to go out there and work on lifting someone else up. What is one thing you can do to lift another author up? Because you know what? It's It's not the intention of it, but if you go and do it, it is going to make you feel better too. If you go out there and lift somebody up, it is going to make you feel better too. So I highly, highly recommend it. It's not self-serving, but it does serve both you and the other person. That never hurts. Awesome. Let's go into the top story of the week. I know this lights up my face all white when I bring up my text edit document. I see it when I flip back. Let's go into the top story of the week, the $12 problem. Recent announcements related to rising costs and account restrictions from Barnes & Noble and Draft2Digital have left many authors angry. But was it the change or the way the change was shared? On April 15th, tax day in the United States, both vendors announced big changes during a vulnerable time. Barnes & Noble announced there will be a default 100 title limit, and they will no longer allow public domain work, which could restrict authors and small presses with a lot of titles. They've also announced a minimum price of $14.99 per ebook, higher than many indies' price paperback. On the same day, Draft2Digital announced it would be combating scammers with a $20 startup fee for new accounts and a $12 annual fee to accounts earning less than $100 per year. Some authors felt the announcement was tone deaf and that it was wrong to only charge the fee to the lowest earners. As the industry changes and more books are published more rapidly, more fees may increase across a variety of platforms. The need for writing marketable books that meet your readers' expectations may be higher than ever before. I have seen a lot of people commenting on it. How many of you out there have seen at least someone on your feed talking about, hey Cheryl, how many of you have seen at least someone on your feed talking about the Draft2Digital and Barnes & Noble changes? It has been the top thing I've seen out there. Lots of people commenting on it. So here's the thing, and I think Roland Denzel, who gathers the show notes, was doing this from 30,000 feet or something on a trip back from Europe, which I appreciate you going to those ends there, Roland. He was out there looking for the news, of course. But y'all, the issue wasn't, in my opinion, about and Roland's opinion. I share in Roland's opinion. It wasn't necessarily about the $12 thing. The Draft2Digital change wasn't about the $12 thing. It was about the timing. April 15th is not necessarily a good day to tell people they're going to be paying more money. And it was about the way it only impacted the folks making less money. I think that when you are going to make a change that only affects some of the people, of course, people are going to be grumpy. If I said, hey, everyone on my email list, you have to pay me $5 to stay on my email list, but only the people who've never bought anything from me can pay the $5, that's just going to be a bad look. I think this would have gone better if it wasn't on, Kathleen says, I saw lots of rants. Oh yeah, there were lots of rants. It would have gone better, I think, if everyone was charged $12. If everyone was charged $12 instead of just some people charged for $12, then I think everything would have been okay. And so, I definitely think that if you aren't making a lot on Draft2Digital or otherwise, I mean, we can get angry, right? We can get angry. We can get upset. And I just posted about this the other day. We can absolutely get upset. But the thing is, anger is not usually a good motivator. anger is not usually going to then lead to joy. Anger is not, anger is not necessarily going to get you to that next spot. We all want to move up. We all want to make more. We all want to get to another place. And I think anger can be a motivator in some ways, but not when it's this mob mentality pile on thing. It's not surprising that it only took us 2 weeks to go to another mob mentality kind of thing. And so Ellie says, I'm irritated. I'm losing my freebie, and my Amazon book is going to go up to 99 cents. Here's the thing. Ellie, or L, sorry, if you make more than $12 a year, petty, will petty get me to happiness? It's unlikely as well. Let's say that because you're getting your books to perma-free, your book ones to perma-free, does that, just the idea of that, does that get you more than $12 a year in read-through? If it does, I would say it's probably worth keeping the drafted digital account. Something I think our guest co-host Claire Taylor has said over the years is you need to let 48 hours go by before you make a decision on it. Because otherwise the emotion is going to cloud your judgment. I would say that everyone who has books on drafted digital, who is using it as part of their strategy, even if you don't make $100 a year on it, I think $12 is more than a reasonable cost of doing business. Just because the company maybe stepped in it in the way they should have presented this, I think it's absolutely worth the $12. Really, when it comes down to it, is believing in yourself, your own self-worth. Am I worth paying, am I worth a business that pays $12 a year to keep my books listed somewhere? Absolutely, you are worth it. It's just $12 for the whole account for the whole year, Kevin. So it is not a lot. The way that it went about, not so good. Should you shoot yourself in the foot to be available fewer places because you're angry? I wouldn't recommend it. My 2 cents, Drafted Digital has always been a friend of the author community. But I definitely think that most people would benefit from having the books. They've already got the books there. There would be some benefit. And this is me as a big believer in Kindle Unlimited, because I think that a lot of our top authors in our author ad agency and in our Pathfinders group are in Kindle Unlimited. But y'all, give it some time. Give it some time to think about it. Let's go to the hot potatoes of wisdom. We already talked a little bit about this, but what should authors consider before canceling their drafted digital distribution because they're going to have to pay the annual fee? I think put stuff in perspective. One additional $12 charge. One additional $12 charge compared to all the money you've earned from, all of the things that you do on an annual basis. A lot of people earn significantly more than $12 over the whole year. Significantly. And even though there are some challenges in the financial world right now, $12, honestly, Drafted Digital probably should have charged $12 from the beginning. And the timing wasn't good, but probably they should have charged $12 from the beginning. And so I think putting things in perspective is going to make a big difference here. Second question. What do you say to those questioning their identity as an author because of the fee that they're being asked to pay for not selling a lot of books. You are worth it. You are worth it. I've seen it for years. When a price goes up on something like a book report or whatever, or a price goes up on Drafted Digital, or price goes up, really, we're having an identity crisis. The identity crisis is it's masquerading as I can't afford this, but really it's, am I worth it? Am I worth it to pay money for things? I see so many people saying, oh, well, I have to leave this mailing list provider because I got too many people and now I have to pay for subscribers. Y'all, I pay for subscribers every single month. I pay over $1,000 a month because I have so many subscribers across my list. And it is a privilege. It is a joy. It is awesome that I have reached a point that I get to pay for so that I can reach so many people. And I know not everybody could afford that, but I make enough money that I can afford that. And sometimes, this is the chicken and the egg problem. Sometimes it's about spending money to make money. Sometimes we have to spend money to make money. And if you change it in your mind, where spending that $12 or spending the extra money on these things is, making you feel like, I'm not worth it as an author, change it. Spending money on me makes more money for me. I say this every time I pay a bill to my team, and I pay my team every week because I think everyone on my team is amazing and they deserve to get money as fast as possible. Every dollar I spend comes back to me tenfold. Every dollar I spend comes back to me tenfold. I say it every time I pay one of my team members. And what has happened since I've started this practice? In 2 years, I've doubled my revenue. So it might just be doing something. It might just be doing something. Awesome. So hopefully that resonates with some of you guys. We didn't really touch on the Barnes & Noble thing, but here's the thing. I have a client who has over 100 books. And she asked Barnes & Noble, hey, is it okay if I get clearance to have more than 100? And they said, okay. Problem solved. Awesome. So let's go into, I wanted to look over on the Facebook and make sure that's going great. And look at the Instagram and that's going great. Love it, love it, love it. Awesome. Let's go into the questions of the lightning round. So here's the lightning round. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. All right. How can authors, I already just covered this. How can authors change their mindset on spending money to make money? Look, it doesn't all have to happen in one day. It doesn't all have to happen in a single day. It starts with saying I am worth it. I am worthwhile. Every dollar I spend comes back to me tenfold. Maybe not fully believing it, but you start on that. And then you realize that, there are authors out there who are spending lots and lots of money and they're making more than that. And you have to ask yourself, well, if I have a book that makes $10 when I spend $5, could I also spend $50 to make 100, 500 to make 1,000? And the scary part is thinking of the 500. The scary part is thinking of how much you will spend. But if you do it slowly, if you increase incrementally, if you grow by little by little, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. And I think a lot of this is not thinking about the worst case scenario. If you think that the worst case scenario is going to happen on a regular basis, that is going to get in the way of you feeling good about spending money. But oh my gosh, guys, looking at folks like who've worked with us for a long time. We have an author who started by buying our course, and that helped her get past $5,000 a month. And then she bought our coaching, and that helped her get past $10,000 a month. And then she worked with our agency, and that helped get her past $30,000 a month. And then she got all of this team together and grew, and that helped get her past $60,000, $100,000 a month. And then she got a 7-figure deal from Penguin Random House. And it's like, guys, she bought things. She invested in herself. It's an investment. It's not, oh, this thing is taking money from me. It's an investment in growth. So we need to think more about these investments rather than just assuming that every expenditure is bad. If we think that spending money is bad, how are we supposed to make it work that people spend money on us? If we say spending money is bad, we're putting that out into the universe, and people are going to say spending money on you is bad. We don't want that. We want people to spend money on us. Sometimes that means we need to spend money on ourselves. Let's see. I like my ka-chow. I love it. I love it. Second one, how do you focus on writing with everything happening in the world right now? Okay, first and foremost, don't watch the news. Don't watch the news. Don't watch the news. Secondly, we need to be smart about our energy. If we are putting a lot of energy into taking on the pain and the suffering of the world, it is going to be really hard to move at any other speed than molasses. I have to really assess when I am focused on other people and the world. If you go to any kind of news website or you're getting any kind of news notification, that's going to impact your ability to write, your ability to reach people. Is it good to be informed? Yes, to a point. How often does that information need to come in? I think it's less often than you think. Because the second you take on that pain of the world and you see what's happening to people in various places, that is going to impact your ability to do what you were put on earth to do. If you were put on earth to write, if you were put on earth to coach, if you were put on earth to do these things, and you are letting this energy get into you that is keeping you from doing it, then you need to shut some of that out. Victoria asks, how do we sort through the noise and choose how to spend the limited amount of money we have on ourselves? I think we have to get smart. It's the same thing. This is the same kind of question, Victoria. This is the same kind of question. Energy and money are kind of the same thing. How do we choose to spend our energy? We have to choose to spend it wisely. We can't let things suck that away. How do we choose to spend our money? Why do I say no to 80% of the authors who come and ask to work with the author ad agency? Why do I say no, Victoria? Because we only work with authors who we think are going to have a chance to be profitable with it. Not every agency is going to do that sort of thing. And so, the more often than not, if you have a hit, you'll know. The books are selling. The pre-orders, even before you get the book out, the pre-orders are humming along. You'll know if you have a hit. I would not work with an agency unless you have a hit. I would say that if you don't have a hit, it's better to do coaching. It's better to do coaching and courses because you need to, yes, exactly, Victoria. You need to do the work to be profitable. I would not spend thousands of dollars on someone if you're not profitable. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, the only thing I would say is get coaching. Do not have someone that you spend thousands of dollars a month on to run your ads. If you're not, probably. So we ended up with an extra question in there because we get to be live, which I love. Great question here. Spoken like a true person in the relationship that they're in. Great question from Roland here. How do I beat my imposter syndrome? Well, to quote Becca Syme, imposters don't have imposter syndrome. If you have imposter syndrome, part of it is about recognizing that this is a legitimate part of legitimate people. Legitimate people, people who care about serving people, people who want to do good in the world, feel like imposters sometimes because they're not sure they are delivering the value that they want to be delivering. They want to always over deliver. And you may have felt that way. You may have felt that way in the author world. But if you are feeling imposter syndrome, know that it's normal. Know that it's exactly the kind of thing that happens to people who are trying to get better. And if you keep working at the edge of your comfort zone to try to get better, eventually you will not feel like an imposter. But you have to work on getting better. You can't just put out the same thing all the time. You have to grow. You have to grow as a person. You have to grow as an author. You have to grow as a business person. You have to grow. And in this time where maybe there are some challenges in the economy, the people who grow during this time, they're going to be working hard. They're going to be working pretty darn hard. I love these questions. Got to give a round of applause for Roland finding the stories, asking the questions every week. How does mindset change for authors in different phases of the writing journey? In the beginning, we have to disconnect ourselves from the work. We can't say the work is personal because then we're going to see comments from editors. We're going to see 2-star reviews from readers, and we're going to take everything personally. You need to build up that emotional resilience to be able to handle feedback. If you can't handle feedback, you can't move on to the next level. At the next level, it is about starting to just do more of what works. We can't just try 70 different things. If you got something that works, 3 out of 4 times you need to do the thing that works. You need to keep doing the thing that actually works. And every so often you let yourself have some play in there, but you do the thing that works more often. I like to say to my coaching students in my Pathfinder Author Mastermind, if you have access to the candy button, you hit the candy button over and over again. If you know something works, you do it over and over again. Being well-rounded is BS. You do not need to be well-rounded. You need to be really good at one marketing thing, really good at one writing thing, and that can carry you. After that, you need to start handing off things that you are not good at and shouldn't be doing. After that, you need to hand off things that you are good at but not great at. The great things you keep doing, the good things, moving on. And then eventually, you hand off everything that isn't a 10. If it's not a heck yes, it's a no. Those are the mindset changes that must happen over time in order to grow. Brianna says, I know my book isn't everyone's cup of tea. It's good to know that. I'm glad you've received that feedback. It's helpful. Yeah, exactly. You need to accept that. The reviews feel so personally attacking if you don't develop the muscle to take feedback. Last question. This one I asked to myself. What can I do to stop hating book marketing? Change the way you look at book marketing. Book marketing can be anything. Anything that sells more books that you enjoy can be book marketing. It can count as book marketing. If you enjoy doing something and it doesn't suck you dry with energy and it happens to sell more books, keep doing it. If you are great at doing something that you also enjoy doing, and it happens to sell more books, that can make you a six-figure author. Let me say that again. If you are good at something or great at something, and you also enjoy doing it, and it happens to sell you more books, follow that path, because that's what gets you to be a six-figure author. Focusing on that, getting better at that, getting stronger at that. This does the things. This does what you were hoping that course you bought or that thing you bought would do. Focus on doing more of what is working and that you're good at and that you love. And if you find the marketing things for that, or you don't even think they are marketing, but they happen to sell more books, keep on doing them. Keep on doing it. Awesome, you guys. We got a question of the week to ask. Question of the week. I'm going to go on. Let's do this mindset change thing because I think this is fun. What are some of the mindset shifts you've had to get through in order to reach where you are in your author career? You can answer the question of the week over at the Sell More Book Show After Party Facebook group or at sellmorebookshow.com. As a reminder, we're brought to you by the Author Ad Agency. If you're earning more than $6,000 a month from your books and you want to scale up, hit us up. We also have my Pathfinder Author Mastermind group. If you're earning more than $2,500 a month, I want to coach you. And we have our Groundbreakers Author Mastermind. There's no income requirement. We have a coaching group that has helped plenty of authors get above $1,000 a month in royalties. Hit us up, Brian, Bryan, at sellingforauthors.com. Thank you to everyone who popped in here. Oh, Jeffrey Mason coming in at the last second. Jeffrey says, I don't call it marketing. I just tell myself that my job is that when I go to bed, more people know about my book and my brand than when I woke up that morning. Love that. Highlighting that on the feed. Beautiful, Jeffrey. Great words to leave us with. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. I loved getting to do this show with you today. Thank you to everyone, and I can't wait to do this again next week. We'll be back next week with episode 629. Have a great week of book selling, everybody, and we'll see you next week for the new one. Bye, everyone.